What's going on, everyone? My name is John Day, and we are at the site of the first ever J-Day Sprint Enduro out here in Lanesboro, Mass. Actually the same exact location as our famous MSR Mohawk GP. It's just actually at a different part of the property. And we're out here today. Benny G is going to do some recording, and the point of today's video is just to better describe what the Sprint Enduro is all about. As you can see, the property, beautiful, picturesque. We got about 500 acres to work with. We got plenty of parking, plenty of grass track, woods, extreme, you name it. We know that a lot of our racers probably have never even done a regular enduro, so that's what today is all about. We're going to go through some details, let you guys know what to expect on September 20th out here in Lanesboro, Mass. And yeah, so the biggest thing about the Sprint Enduro is that we want people to understand it's for everyone. The word enduro to most people that haven't lived in the off-road scene might be a little intimidating, but realistically, the Sprint Enduro is going to be for anyone on a dirt bike, whether your background is strictly wide open J-Days, hair scrambles, motocross, other style enduros. We want it to be for everyone, and we don't want people to think that because it's an enduro that you need all the nicks and knacks that come along with it. The J-Day Sprint Enduro, you won't need a registration. The entire track is all on one piece of private property. You won't need to go down the road. You will not need to know how to time keep. No lights, no blinkers, etc. So just pretty much show up here at the time you're expected to, and we'll have all the details up online beforehand. And you know, just get ready to twist the throttle. The tests, there's going to be 3 separate tests. A woods test, there's going to be a cross test, which is also known as a grass track test, and also an extreme test. Depending on your class, you are going to do each test a certain amount of times. There's no order to which test you have to hit first, last, or whatever. So on the day of the first ever Sprint Enduro, unlike the J-Days where everyone will arrive in the morning, it's going to be set up a little bit differently. We're going to have the same classes as we normally do at the wide open J-Day GPs, except for the PB riders. But at 8 a.m. all the way until 10 a.m., that's when the youth riders will have their window to do all their special tests and all their time tests. And then 10 to 1 will be for novices, and then all the other classes like masters, super seniors, woman, C-vet, C-senior, and then all the typical novice classes. 1 o'clock until whenever there'll be amateurs, experts, and double A's. So a lot of people hearing the term special test that have never raced an enduro or followed an enduro don't even know what that means. A special test is a timed section from point A to point B where a rider will pull up. We'll have a J-Day tower that says start, and when we say go, you crank the throttle, ride as fast as you can until you get to the finish checkpoint. And from point A to point B, that's considered a special test. So at the J-Day Sprint Enduros, the only sections that you'll be timed on that will be recorded will be the 3 special tests, which are the enduro test, the cross test, and the extreme tests. The first special test will be the woods test. For anyone that knows World Enduros, they might refer to it as the enduro test. And what the woods test is going to be composed of is true off-road style trails. We're going to have some single track, some fresh cut, we'll have some kart roads, we'll have some wider trails, you know, just all true off-road style stuff. The beauty about this place is that there's so much single track that never gets ridden, and we could just pretty much walk through the woods 40 feet and you'll find another trail here or there. And we're going to try to string together roughly a 10-minute loop for the woods test. And on the woods test, depending on what class you are, if you're going to be a double A or A rider, you'll probably be timed on that test 3 different times. But you'll pull up to the start. There's going to be a a starting tower, and when we say go, you twist the throttle as fast as you can all the way until you see the finish. And Moto Tally, when you buzz right through the finish line, Moto Tally will record your time, and Moto Tally is going to be recording your time for all the tests throughout the day. And again, at the end of the day, your times will all be added up by Moto Tally, and the person with the lowest time, the fastest times, all combined, will be the winner. Now the second test, special test that we're going to have at the J-Day Sprint Enduro will be a cross test. And the cross test will be hopefully about 10 minutes long, and it's going to be composed of all grass track. We might add a couple small sections of woods here and there, 10-20 seconds, just connecting some of the grass track, but plan on that test being your traditional grass track style test. And that one, there's some really good spectating on. Right next to the parking lot, you can see the most of the cross test right from the parking lot, so that's what a cross test is. So the third special test will be the extreme test. The extreme test here is going to be mostly all natural. There's going to be a lot of washed out riverbed style stuff, up and down the valleys, a lot of down logs, just technical terrain, a lot of off cambers and stuff like that. Our plan with that is to, again, be around 10 minutes, which, as you might have noticed, that's our goal, is to have all three tests to be about 10 minutes each. Just enough so that you're really hanging out on the edge, but not too long where you kind of just get lost in the trail and it just carries on. We're hoping that that smaller style test might provide better action for the fans, where riders are really pushing their limit, not holding anything back for endurance. All right, you guys know a little bit about the tests and what the Sprint Enduro is all about. Now let's go check out some of the terrain out here in Lanesboro, Mass.
Ooh, black guys.
Definitely help if my knee was wrenched. So what we're doing right now is, in order to get into the trails that we're going to start cutting and laying out for the Sprint Enduro, we got to cross a low area, like an old river, and we know of one man-made bridge that goes over it, and the property owner says there's another one, but it hasn't been used in years, so it's kind of grown in. So right now we're just kind of trudging through all the marshy wetland, just kind of searching for that old crossing. But with 550 acres, it could get a little complicated because everything looks the same, but we'll find it. So now I'm just trying to get back onto the river that we were just at a little while ago. I was going to try to cut through there, but it's a little too risky, not knowing exactly where we are. The valley should be right over there in a second. After doing a little exploring, pretty cool. You get out of the thick mountains, and then in the middle of nowhere out here is just this cool opening on the side of the mountain, real grassy, and definitely a cool off-road feel to it. So with over 500 acres to work with, this is the kind of hidden treasures. You'll just be walking through the woods and all of a sudden find this big opening. We're going to try to incorporate some of this hillside grass track right into the special tests, and it's just got an amazing feel to it. There's going to be some off-camber turns, ruts, bumps, and all the good stuff that we look forward to adding. Not a bad view either. So our parking lot is going to be all the grass out that way. And believe it or not, the start of all 3 tests, the cross test, the woods test, and the extreme test, are all going to be side by side right here. We know it's the first ever Sprint Enduro that we've done, and we don't want to make it confusing. You're going to be able to ride right out of the parking lot and pick whatever tests you want to do, and depending on which class you're in, you'll have to do it X amount of times. What I love about the grass track here is all the elevation. It's not just going to be flat corners, it's going to have a cool feel to it, up and down all the hills. Definitely one of the cool things about being in the Berkshires. Real true off-road feel for our first Sprint Enduro. That's one thing, is I guess when they have seen bears out here, they're around where the corn is, probably eating a snack or something, so we got to be careful about that a little bit too. Oh boy, I think we just hit the jackpot. I think we found our little land bridge over here. Yep, we're here. You can tell it's an old little trail. River's on left and right. Cool. We're looking forward to setting up the trails out here. You know, on one aspect with our wide open J-Day events, there's so many riders on the trail at the same exact time that we're a little bit limited as far as how tight we can make it, and you know, how swirly. And this Enduro, there's going to be riders every 15 or 30 seconds going by themselves against the clock, so that frees up a lot of different options. We can get a little bit more unique with the trail layouts and not really worry about them so much as far as, you know, how many riders are on the trail at the same time. As you can see, the Mohawk dirt, much to what you guys probably remember from the MSR Mohawk J-Day GP. Lots of good soil. It's got a little bit of shale in it, but it's some real good stuff, especially in September when it should be pretty moist and good to go. So the trails out here, we've got it all really. We have some fast open trails like this, real flowy, and then we also have, there's a lot of single track type trails, one line, lots of snakes and S-turns, and we think that any rider, whether your background is enduro, whether it's hare scrambles, J-Days, motocross, we'd like to think that all the trails should have something to offer for everyone. We're in the woods section, and we've got some real fast flowing stuff set up, and now we got this real unique single track section kind of off camber on the side of a little mountain, and again, some stuff we're looking forward to with this type event. A rider taking off every 30 seconds. It's just him against the clock, against the trail, a lot less chaos. If that's your thing, then this is exactly what we're gearing that towards, kind of a different type of woods racing. And the enduro format is definitely really important to us, and we think that this spectator-friendly enduro style without timekeeping is definitely going to be the future of off-road in the enduro sense. So this is going to be a cool section, I can already tell. It's going to be kind of tight, technical. If it rains, it'll get greasy. There's some good routes, but it should have a cool flow to it. So So our wide open J-Day series, that is always going to be, you know, that's the series that brought us our name and got us on the map for off-road, and that's always going to be our baby. But we also do understand that there are plenty of other riders out there that like different aspects of off-road, much like the enduros, and you know, they're not trying to bang bars for 30 minutes, but they do want to you know, experience some J-Day off-road style events. So that being said, if this Sprint Enduro does take off, you know, it would be great to have, say, a 8-9 round series next year on Saturdays, and you know, just try to also bring that enduro style atmosphere here to New England. So it's a tough balance. Obviously, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with so many events, but at the same time, we have such a great following right now, and such a powerful following here in New England that realistically we can do a lot for off-road, and I'd hate to just waste it and just, you know, not even give those events a shot. You know, in the future, who knows, this could be another huge success, and it could be another huge following for this series. Alright guys, thanks for checking out the video. Only thing left to do is come check out the event, Saturday, September 20th, out in Lanesboro, Mass. This time in September, conditions out in the Berkshires should be really good depending on the weather, and it's going to be a great day, so come check out the future of Enduros here with J-Day Off-Road.